Well, I'm exhausted. What can I say? Ah, magnificent round of applause from you all there. And I'll give you an applause back.
Ah,
So, welcome everybody to this week's edition of the Metaworld News. It's the week when we bring you the highlights for the week ending the 13th of February, which ironically is the very day we're recording and transmitting this live over YouTube. But you
oh,
can. You can check in with us at any old
and I think I
time.
put in the wrong date today. I think I entered the 12th. I'm behind.
Ooh,
Let me put in
ah,
13. We can
yes, yes.
we can correct this. We have the power, right?
We have the power. Okay.
There we go. 13 February
that that's good.
on
Yeah,
the
but
lower
it's,
third.
yeah, I
Yep.
see. It still
Oh
says 12
goodness.
here, but it will take a while to catch up. My monitor's a bit behind today. There we are. No, there we are. 13th. Yeah, so a
All
few,
right. All
few,
right.
few seconds behind today on the at YouTube there. Right, and I mustn't watch there because then I'll get very confused with
Mm,
lag and all that.
mm.
Okay, so as I said, um, welcome to the show. Uh, Headlines for the week ending 13th of February. And yeah, that's about it. My name is Mal Burns. Most of the links I'm going to be talking about you'll find on my Twitter feed, which you will find at twitter.com/Malburns, Malburns. That is my name, or rather, it is my two names, but they get squashed because such are the interwebs. You can't do anything without being squashed.
Oh.
If I'd known the future of online activity was going to be put in a sardine can, well, maybe I'd have thought twice about that, but not so. Anyway, yep. So I'm Mal Burns, and I'm joined here by James Atlloud. Welcome, James.
Oh well, thank you, Mal. I was waiting for the other lower third on Meta World News, but let me.
Oh,
I can. I'm glad to be here, and let's move
well,
on up to
I'm
the
just.
other camera.
I'll start you off. As usual. I'm admiring your latest T-shirt,
Oh, thank you.
which is certainly an out loud job, isn't it? A
It
new
is. It
T-shirt,
is.
not as loud as they come, but it's moving and it's psychedelic. And to top it all, it says peace and love at the top.
Yeah, we need that. We need peace and
We need
love.
that.
Yeah.
We need a bit of that.
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
Again, sadly, nothing new at the Sansar store. So I've gone back to something I had before, and so this is from I put it on the lower third Neo Zero store, and I
Uh,
like the animation and the colors. So thanks to Neo Zero, and but yeah, just nothing new on the Sansar
well,
store. I don't know what's happening there.
Well, the other news I have, of course, is that this is almost, well, not necessarily, but it feels like a farewell to Hansard this week because we're going to be doing this particular show and others in OpenSim again next week. We'll actually be on the Avacon grid on a region called Safari that is technically run by Professor Member for the Safari. And it's really still a backup location for Safari, but for us it will be the main location. And you, James, will then be able to read all those wonderful places in OpenSim for t-shirts.
Yeah, no animated shirts, I
Yeah,
think.
I think there are a few. You got
Oh,
really
okay. All
actually,
right.
Tessa will put you onto some animated shows.
Ah,
Well,
okay.
I'm sure she can because she's got loads of animated dresses. So wherever they come from, I
Ah,
can't.
okay.
T-shirts are not normally far behind.
Well, as long
They're
as
the
I know
first.
the designer, right? Yep.
Yeah. We'll see anyway. We'll
Yep.
see. It doesn't have to be animated, but there we go. So very beautiful, exotic places. Um, right. Now the other thing that James is doing, lest I forget to credit him, is filling with the knobs under the table. He'll be doing that in a new place too, a bit differently, different knobs, different style, but nevertheless fiddling with his knobs. One of those knobs changes the angle of my avatar's camera. So you see me from different angles, and you see him too. Another one of the knobs allows you to see pictures and things and stuff, but well, by and large, see my desktop where all the links I'm talking about are. And as I mentioned, twitter.com/malbones is where you can go to find links to the things I'm talking about. If you care to go there, you will find masses and masses of other links too, which we no longer feature on this show but cover a wider range of things. The feed is not as long as it has been in the past because most of my searches, daily searches for the word metaverse, I've deleted because 9 out of 10 things that come up, and there are a lot these days, have nothing to do with what I call the metaverse or was thinking when I put the search criteria into the reader. So, a bit behind the scenes anecdotal there. Right, so thanks to James for loud t shirts. And fiddling with the knobs, as they say. And I notice now that he's put on screen behind me. Yeah, well, I've just got a picture up there. It's just a nice sort of screen, I thought, to actually start with in the background there. And I'm immediately going to switch across to something else here. And I had the original of this from about 5 years ago when it began. It's a wonderful video, and this is the same song. This is the one that's come out today for this year's 1 Billion Rising. I don't know whether there's one in Open Sim this year or any of the other worlds, but this is the one from Good Old Second Life, 2022. And basically it's a dance line format, so it's a bit boring, but it's a wonderful song, and I think it's appropriate. It always happens on Valentine's Day, which of course is tomorrow, February 14th. So activities happening in Second Life, and I'm sure all over the web too, although I'm not sure about any other virtual worlds. So I thought we'd run this to get us in the mood for the show. Well, there we go. A nice uplifting performance there. Get us in the mood for tomorrow. But 1 billion rising is really speaking up for women and girls, and notice they've added the earth now. Bodies, who knows? But it started off really as a response to, sort of discrimination and abuse of women and girls and stuff. But it's become a much more general sort of empowerment thing for women. Now, one of the people who instrumental in starting the Second Life version of this, which is where those dancers just now were from, was our old friend Safia Widdershins, who is one of the co-hosts of Designing Worlds, which features things from Second Life. Where else? And Second Life Linden Labs have their own little show that usually happens about once a month or so. And there was one a few days ago called Lab Gab. And one very recent one, not the most recent, but the one before that, so of course featured Philip Rosedale and his return there. But Safia is guesting with Strawberry Linden, who hosts the Lab Gab, tomorrow or tonight. I'm not quite sure how to. Basically, I worked out when my alert for it going live on YouTube is, and it's 3:00 in the morning my time, which I guess if you're in the States, then it's going live at about 7 p.m. tonight Pacific time. I won't, of course, get to see it until the morning, but I'll be getting a replay kind of thing. But of course, these things are like everything else. Once they're on YouTube and recorded, they're there for you to enjoy. So Safia will be talking to Strawberry Linden all about how it all came about and started. So unusual for us, you might think, to be covering Second Life, especially at the beginning of the show, but significant event, and sort of, it's worth talking about major events, across all the active platforms, really, and emphasis on active. Right, now let me see here. That's like mood music. Now I'm gonna put those away now, and I'm gonna come back to my pictures. So back in the Pictureville, we've also got this picture of the very same thing I've just been talking about, and you will have no problem if you log into Second Life and just do a search for 1 billion rising. There's several different events, and I believe Lindens have actually provided one or two sims that are the centre of everything concerned, where that is concerned, so to speak. Right, also this week, more reality than meta-reality, should we say, talk about the metaverse, build it and they shall come. This is at 6 p.m. tomorrow, London time. No, it's not. 16th Wednesday. Oh, I'm getting confused. I'm billion rising into the wrong day. Yeah. David Chalmers is the second in the picture there. He's the author of Reality Plus, Virtual Worlds and the Problems of Philosophy, which I think we mentioned a little bit last week. I've never heard him speak, so that could be very useful. Again, I've got the clip, but I'm not entirely... I think this is... what's the Royal what's it society? The Royal Society, maybe, and things. But anyway, it's just a stream on YouTube too. So if you go to YouTube at about 6 p.m. London time tomorrow, you'll no doubt find this. It's I'm pretty sure it's one that I will ultimately put in my Mastodon feed at a later point. Right. Also, February 17th, busy week this, Beyond the Metaverse, Virtual and Augmented Reality Conference with Amy Lehmer. And again, of course, I would end up with a picture that doesn't really tell you very much, does it? But nevertheless, I may come across something more to do with that as we go. So it could be quite a busy thing with those going on. Now, for just a couple of more pictures, which are incidental. This one, two on the same thing here. This was a clip I've had on Twitter or something. 2005, the guy saying, I can't believe people play this shit. Picture of Second Life, of course. And 2022, where's the future? Time to spend my entire paycheck on monkey NFTs to hang up in my virtual apartment. Oddly enough, the picture is still the same. Which is more than could be said for this one. This one reckons the metaverse in 2003 was pretty good as far as Second Life went at the time. The metaverse in 22 is decidedly inferior. We're back to blocky pixels and who knows what else. Oh dear, progress is not progress, is it? It's called the 21st century. We're going into regression. We're going to have a few more wars shortly by the look of it. Anyway, I'll go to that. I've got one final picture to show. And this is a conundrum. I'm going to actually put it to James, unless anybody's in chat and wants to tell me. Have you any idea of the significance of this picture or group of pictures?
I don't. I mean, I see paw beans, the little toes on a kitty cat, but I don't know the significance. I'm sorry.
Okay, the top picture is a nose.
Okay.
The picture bottom left is feet.
Toes. Okay, feet.
And although he seems to be sleeping on the job, the one on the bottom right is teeth. Otherwise known as NFT.
Oh. Okay.
There would be there'd be better ways to play with this if I had a bigger audience and time to hold the competition. I'd leave it up on screen and see if anybody's guessed by the end. But I think we've gone hiding to nowhere there. And in fact, I can simply close my picture window at this point because that's it for the pictures.
Yeah. Okay.
And let's just have another nice little video. This is a preview of a game. It's Lo-Fi Girl in VR. In fact, I think it was Blair who sent this. I'm not quite sure. Again, it's something to listen to, but this I think would make a good intro clip to any show, really. So I'm doing it for this one today, at least. Can't show you the below. Sorry. Right. So I think that is Old Space VR. I can't be entirely sure. But very pretty it looks too, and it's nice little advert for stuff. If you are viewing that on YouTube, there is, I think, their comments page and stuff like that. But believe it or not, I have. I think you'll find that at Alt Space VR's YouTube channel, but I can't be actually sure. Anyway, I'm going to get on with what you normally get from me, and that is the week peak, the peak week, the weekity peakity. The headlines for the 13th of February, except that this post is from the Scar Ghost. Cue the music. Oh, yes, indeed. And of course, this is posted every Monday. It was posted on February the 7th, and it's a look back at the week up until February 7th. So exactly for us, that's 2 weeks ago. It's there every Monday. If you go there tomorrow, for example, you'll find a new one. You go to skarredghost.com, SKARREDGHOST.com for the links on my Twitter feed if in doubt. And what did he cover? Well, he's always covering Meta. Everybody's got to cover Meta, haven't they? Well, unless some of us can help it. It talks about HoloLens 3, which is a Microsoft product that may have been cancelled. And notice he says may. And various other general news, about, Meta's going to have a mobile version of Horizon and its updated avatars so they work in all its apps. And Quest SDK has a new version with interaction. And Facebook have had to abandon their plans to have a cryptocurrency because they couldn't figure it out and they can find anybody to nick it from, basically. And Plutosphere brings, too much, really, about the old Zuckerberger. Diver X cancelled. Anyway, I'm not going to read out these things. I've got to resist temptation and keep to a timetable. Don't have to, but this week I'm trying to because setting the bar for future shows, so to speak. So 45 minutes later, we'll still be on this if I stay here, which I won't. I will move on. I promise. Right. Now, the earliest ones of the week here are at the bottom, which means I've loaded them the wrong way round again. Never mind. We'll start at the most recent. Not too many this week. This is a new site. It's nickhillmv.com. I'm definitely going to have to pronounce this. Spell it. NIKHILMV.com. And there are actually two links side by side here. It's got the Metaverse Explained and part one in the series, What You Need to Know. And the title says it all, really. People will argue about whether this is right, whether it's wrong, etc., etc. But it's full of information. And in fact, this part one, you'll see there's an embedded, the metaverse is coming. We've shown you that in the past, but that was the Venture Beat, GamesBeat thing, and of course, Philip Rosedale, of course, and various others there. And the same site is part two here. Part one ended with a question: will the metaverse be the future, and are we ready as a human race for such a type of transition? Mixed feelings on the answers, of course, but very good reading here, that's for sure. So it's in two parts, same website for both. You just have to look at three things we need to make the metaverse happen, and that's part two of the metaverse series. So I'll repeat the link, although you can find it on my Twitter, of course. NIKHILMV.com. So with due haste, we can put that away. Oh, you can see that. Oh, right, at the top again. Okay, this is just a nice one. Okay. This is a post at Road to VR, and it's talking about a psychedelic puzzler called Squingle, which shows just why mixed reality trailers are so important. And I should really have downloaded a big size version of this to show you, but it's only a minute. I'll have to assume you can see. So 20 seconds of it there for you. As you can see, quite psychedelic-y. Maybe it's the undulating intestinal pathways or the shimmering patterns that seem to change with every touch as you lead orbs around this increasingly circuitous route. It's so otherworldly and seemingly chaotic that you wouldn't implicitly know what to expect when looking at it. Whereas a different VR title might be easily explained with something as simple as a screenshot of a zombie and a gun. It's a lot to take in. Anyway, they talk about mixed reality video and trying to explain what this is. It is definitely it's an immersive experience, is all I can say. Having looked at it, I think you can only get it in the helmet stores. But who knows? They might be able to make a screen version. It probably be, from what I can tell on the 2D screen, it probably wouldn't be very easy to make a 2D version. Um, it's something you could possibly have done in the old days with Flash, by coding action scripts, so you move in this 3D environment. But it's hard to imagine that this is actually working on a flat screen. But nevertheless, you can get a demo from Quest or from Steam VR, basically. And the full thing is Quest on the App Lab. And it's called Squingle. So, bit of plugs there anyway. I couldn't resist. It sounds like the right sort of thing. Now, slightly less good news for all you helmet wearers. A report in The Guardian this week. The rising popularity of helmets has sparked a 31% rise in insurance claims. Basically, people have been damaging their furniture, breaking their TVs, walking through lighting fixtures, and basically doing damage to the environment because they're trying to potter around with their helmet on. I've always said this is one of the reasons I'm really not that keen on them. You want the pipe into reality, 99% immersion, yeah, but give me a 1% pipe into reality so that I don't walk into things or electrocute myself or miss the burglar when he strips the flat, Yeah, but this is actually interesting. A 31% rise in insurance claims. That's a significant rise for insurance companies, and given that it's all down to problems with helmets, VR helmets, worth thinking about, especially before you buy the young uns. Ever more complex helmets. Just think of what other damage they might. Some parents probably think, oh, we'll stick them in the helmet and that will keep them quiet in the corner. But what if they get up and bounce around with their helmet on? They may do more damage than you anticipate. Anyway, the average VR-related claim for accident damage during the last year, 2021, was about 650 UK pound. So you're talking about something not that much short of $1,000 per claim, and that's only the average. There will have been big ones and little ones too. So worthy of thinking about. This site is, of course, theguardian.com, legendary British newspaper, THEGURDIAN.com. So beware the helmets. I can make a movie, Invasion of the Helmets from Zuckerberg land. Nah, I've seen enough daft movies this week. I don't think we need that as well. Right. Why the metaverse is ashamed of Second Life. Now, this is very, very odd title, given the nature of the article, which the title doesn't actually make sense. A standard apologetic tone when a Second Life user explains to you, the metaverse developer, that yes, we already do that in Second Life and have been doing it for years, and very true. Of course, when you say that in a room full of, current fashionable VR people, you feel the room tense up. But anyway, they continue. I don't know what this ashamed business is, but most, if not all, ideas have been tried and work pretty well in Second Life and have done so for years. And by extension, they've been tried and worked pretty well in Open Simulator, which is sort of a open source cousin, shall we say, to Second Life. All these people jumping up and down now. They've obviously got stuck in a time warp for about a decade and a half. Otherwise, they would know that all the stuff they think is great and new has been done already. Just think of that picture of the old Second Life compared with the new Pixel Land, wherever it was. Metaverse creators sense there's gold waiting to be discovered in processing power and internet capacity approach the point where things could be amazing. This is probably true with a but. Everybody who wants to enjoy this virtual world is actually already doing it. Everyone who isn't doing it is either developing their own or just isn't interested and will never be interested. There is another group who enjoy talking about it but never really use it. In that I'm fascinated by the potential, but not enough to really use it one kind of way. Well, that's me all over when I'm talking about helmets.
Yeah, pretty
Fascinating
much.
stuff. Fascinating stuff, but get me in one.
Not a chance.
Not a chance.
It's too
Oh
bad
yeah,
too. Yep.
yes. At any rate, yeah. So anyway, the fact that I mean, maybe you can do damage and make a profit out of the insurance. Oh, I'd have to insure myself first, wouldn't I? Never mind. That's a whole different ball game. Okay, so this website is going to be a bit right. Okay, this is judasshuffle.blogspot.com. So that's JUDASSHUFFLE dot and then blogspot.com. Again, a quick way to go to twitter.com/Mal Burns, find the name of the article, which is up there, same as the one you see up there, and then click on it to get directly there. Moving on, and we go to BuzzFeed, another very well-known site. There had to be, every week that goes by, there has to be more meta garbage in the news. Right, Meta wouldn't tell us how it enforces its rules in VR, so we ran a test to find out. Yeah, Facebook's parent company refused to answer questions about moderating content, so they built this BuzzFeed. They built their own custom Horizon world with content banned from Facebook and Instagram. They then sent it to the content moderators who said the world was fine until they told Meta's PR team about it. Anyway, they elaborate here. Basically, they deliberately made it so that it wouldn't be acceptable. But of course, it passed Facebook and it passed their verification process. And it was only when the PR department were told about it. Needless to say, you can't actually see this. They ran it all offline and everything. And I think 3 of their staff were allowed in. That was it. So it was so bad that they just say they don't want any of the public going into it. Thank you. But anyway, that's a nice little idea actually from BuzzFeed there. BuzzFeed News is the link you want. BuzzFeedNews, and BuzzFeed News brings you meta news or something. Right, moving on. 2 this week. Only 2, you say? VoicesOfVR.com. Number 56, the most recent one, Virtual Reality 2, which is a game, by the way. A game is actually called Virtual Reality 2. There was a Virtual Reality 1 as well, without the 1, but you get what I mean. Manufacturing serendipity, multiple layers of story and innovation, interaction, design. And as usual, Ken Bai has jumped in with the makers of it and had a thorough sort of chat with them. Only a very brief roundup there, telling you a bit about the background before you actually need to click on the episode to play it. And the one before that, earlier in the week, that's the way I've got them listed here, unfortunately, was number 1055. 55 indeed. 1055. Right, it's a VR comedy called Flat Earth VR with Lucas Risotto, and Lucas builds the future YouTube channel and an AR house in LA. Lucas Risotto is quite active on Twitter, tweeting various things too, not necessarily about his own things. It was started as a thought experiment. And it was skewing the idea that VR is an empathy machine by creating an immersive experience that allowed you to identify with delusional perspectives Oh dear, who needs the psychedelic one from earlier? It sounds the same. Anyway, they don't tell you much here. If you want to read more about it, here, sorry, listen more about it, you're going to have to put on the link there to play it. Both of these, of course, are listed at voicesofvr.com, voicesofvr.com. And it's the recordings, the podcast as it is available just about anywhere you can get podcasts, be it Spotify, Wins, Apple Podcasts, you name it. If you've got a favorite podcast player, just look up Voices of VR, and you're 99% certain to find it, unless you've got some really obscure player. Right, okay, so let's remove that one. Okay, technologyreview.com. This, of course, is MIT, Massachusetts Institute for Technology. The metaverse is a new world for an old idea. Well, we just found that out from another article a while ago. Yeah, nothing new under the sun. Whatever you think, Mr. Zuckerberg, there ain't nothing new under the sun. And what you've got something new. Right. So this is a sort of review from a career in Silicon Valley, etc. And while the stories have histories, etc. When Facebook barged in, around by the time the Consumer Electronics Show rolled around last month, January, everybody seemed to have a metaverse angle, no matter how improbable or banal. Haptic vests, including one with an air conditioner to create your own localized climate, avatar beauty makeovers, virtual delivery vans to your virtual home, you name it. Anyway, a kind of bit of review there. Nothing new under the sun. It's interesting. I mean, when you think about it, the metaverse is not even a new word, but I think that title sums it up rather well. The metaverse is a very, very old idea, basically, and it's only a new word, in fact, if you're a newcomer to VR or whatever. So you'll find that article at technologyreview.com, which is part of MIT. TECHNOLOGY REVIEW.com. And yeah, there you go. So let's remove the stuff I've already done here so we don't get confused. And okay, Slate magazine. Slate has been going for many, many years, although I don't get many links to them these days. But another another article on the allied theme: what comparisons between Second Life and the metaverse miss? You can see Second Life has become a bit of a theme now this week, but it's all in context of our greater picture show, so to speak. And again, they're waking up. I mean, Slate's been around for a long while. It probably was around when Second Life started. It's nice to see that a lot of journalists are actually going back to the roots and sort of basically, checking out the history and all the sort of things that were happening in Second Life, and saying they're not new, which is very true. Even, I'm afraid to say, the harassment that Paul Zuckerberg is trying to cope with. It happened 20 years ago, anyway. I think we mentioned this last week, but some woman claimed she'd been raped in Zuckerberg's World Horizon, I think it was. Gang rapes, I should say. I'm not quite sure how you do that especially with the type of avatars they've got in there. Must be a psychological thing, really. But so immediately, of course, Facebook, without thinking, they don't think these things out very much. They've gone for instituting bubbles around every avatar, so you can't get close, you can't shake hands, you can't get close to another avatar. It's not even a bubble you can take down. It's an invisible bubble that stops proximity. So how are you going to build a social virtual world if you can't even get close to the people that are around you? I don't think you thought that one through, so probably have to go back on that at some point. Anyway, this is an article at Slate.com, slate.com. You'll probably have to search quite a lot to find it on the landing page, so twitter.com/Mal Burns, you should find the link for that one too. 6 ways the metaverse is trying but failing to replace real life. There's nothing like the real thing. Isn't that Coca-Cola? Nothing like the real thing.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
sort of. Yeah.
Yes, it's something like that, isn't it?
Hmm.
Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. There we are. Zuki. Zuki. Here's the thing. Because they can do it doesn't mean they should. In fact, they probably won't want to when they see your world. Right. Okay, that's been the general reaction to the metaverse and all-encompassing virtual world that big tech CEOs like Mark Zuckerberg really want people to inhabit using virtual or augmented reality helmets. Anyway, read on. There is nothing really new. Pin a TV to your wall or get a real one instead. Demo over YouTube VR working on with a pass-through on Quest. Oh, God. Plenty of information here, although I think it's patchy. I mean, considering they're saying you don't really need it, they've gone to great lengths to tell you what's available. But there we go. Nothing like a good headline to get eyes and ears, and then it's like certain politicians in the Drowning Street. You know, they say one thing and then talk about another completely. Right. Okay, so that's, oh yes, forget to do. This is a Mashable.com. Mashable.com. And yeah, from earlier in the week, the 10th there. Right, Slate we just did. Sorry, forgot to remove it. Right, and another one for Mashable here. So Mashable.com again, Mashable.com. And this was funny. This was really funny. Obviously, Mashable these days, it started off as a British site, but it's very much American-based now, or a focus anyway. Americans get jealous. Meta threatens to shut down Facebook and Instagram in Europe. They say, okay, US, do it. Come on, do the US as well. They're now trying to deny this, but Meta, which of course is the Zuckerberg empire, is getting more every hour, every day. They're getting more of a mess, it seems. The Security and Exchange Commission, which of course is in the US, filed on Thursday. It's buried in Meta's dense annual report for the Security and Exchanges Commission, I should say, filed on Thursday. Dense, it's one of these things with a billion words in it, and the meaning is in the 100 words that you can actually spend the rest of your life trying to find. It's a surprisingly stark sentence by laying out a scenario in which the company formerly known as Facebook might have to entirely stop operating Instagram and Facebook in Europe. Now, when WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook and things, I think they went down for a matter of hours or maybe up to a day, sometime last year. All hell broke loose, especially actually WhatsApp, which of course is the other major Facebook property. In fact, it's probably a more major property than Instagram or Facebook itself, because it works on phone lines, and it basically means people are phoning other people via their phones, WhatsApp on their smartphone, all around the world all day long. It's used heavily by business. It works on Androids, desktops, iPhones. People don't tell you to call them anymore. They say, WhatsApp me, so they know it's not going to cost you anything to call them. It's amazing. Well, it's no surprise that traditional telephone charges have gone up by 100% or something. But I'm just trying to imagine what this would do if it happened. And I'd actually, I hate to say it, but I'd actually love it to happen. Because I know so many people who are blindly using Instagram and Facebook and WhatsApp with no inkling of the surveillance they've signed on for. It'd be kind of that route. It'd be what I call the necessary shock. I suppose it's a bit like COVID and the lockdowns. They gave, we never had it like that before. And it was a real shock to realise that, a virus could spread very easily, and we had to, get through it, survive it. And it's still going, of course, and the environment too. Now the environment is proved to be up the creek. It's becoming as a shock to people. They're being, Certain things they used to buy at groceries and things, they're no longer available, either because the logistics have been affected by environment change, or because the actual raw products, even fruits and vegetables, are under threat in some parts of the world. They can't be grown, you know. So, although life without Instagram and Facebook would be a major shock to most Europeans, I suspect, um, it might be a good thing. Oddly enough, to make things worse, and this is what's strange, is that in terms of the figures, Facebook has many more users throughout Europe than it does in the United States. The United States, oddly enough, is, even though it was born there, Facebook's market share in the United States is miserable compared with Europe and Africa and stuff. Of course, they subsidize themselves in Africa, which is, well, long stories, so we're not getting into that. But anyway, I thought that was rather amusing. Post again at mashable.com, MASHABLE.com. So they have denied that they've had that they're considering this. But of course they would, wouldn't they? There's another chap, isn't there? What's his name? Putin. He's denying lots of stuff at the moment, and nobody's quite sure whether he's denying it, but he's going to do it, isn't he? Or is that just shit stirring on the part of we Brits and Americans? I don't know. Right, moving on from Mashable. Nearing the end of the list here. xrmust.com, xrmust.com. VR to create a resonance that pulls us back into our humanity. Jamaica here. I'm not. You can read it for yourself. Look, just look. Look at that screen. You can read it for yourself. You think I'm going to read that word? Forget it. Right. On the morning you wake, of course, is a VR piece that was at the Sundance Film Festival, and we did show you. I think it was last week or the week before. A little video from part of it. A little still shot there. Very beautiful little sort of thing. And we're talking about Flat Earth VR again. Although the focus is they're talking about stuff at the Sundance New Frontier, which of course 2022 already, and it's getting quite a few immersive virtual things happening. Be they helmet-based things or basically glorified 3D films, basically. So, on the morning you wake into the world. Just read about it. Good little read. From what I've seen of the videos, good little installation too. So, find that at xrmust.com, or of course find my Twitter. And here we have another one. Remove items. What the heck? Web page and one other page are not responding. That seems to be okay to me. Right. I initially wasn't going to. I saw this posted and I thought, oh, this is just another thing about the metaverse. From press releases and stuff saying in 20 years everybody will have an avatar and we will partially live our lives in VR. Another headline actually took the. They said in 5 years, I think 1 in 6 people will have been into a virtual reality metaverse. But this particular article is actually about Bernard Drax. You may know him as Draxter Dupre, who's he's German. He was a journalist. He had shows a bit like mine for a long while when he lived in Germany. He then moved to America, good 12 more years ago now, and became quite a celebrity in Second Life. Not only did he do a lot of documentaries that showed what Second Life could do, and he immediately endeared himself to the Lindens themselves, of course, who hired him to make documentaries that he was doing anyway, basically. And he's been running for a long while, once a week, a book club he created there. Now, I understood the book club, he posted somewhere that he was closing down the book club a couple of months ago, but I did actually go and check, and they still seem to be happening. So, he interviews authors, and, he has guests every week on this book club. Oddly enough, for such a good filmmaker, the machine, the filming quality that he puts up on YouTube is disastrous. He does it the fan way with interfaces hanging out and very sort of slipshod approach. Although I think it must be deliberate. I can't think why. Um, but anyway, this is interesting because this article is at the Independent newspaper in Britain here. The link you want is edition, edition dot, independent, that's independant dot co dot uk. And basically somebody independent had met Zach and went and interviewed him virtually from England. And he was actually, the journalist was in London, Drax was in Munich, he's frequently back in Germany now. Of course, in this world, COVID and everything else, you can still be in Second Life 24 hours a day and also in Munich at the same time. Why not? So a little bit of back chat there, and then it's really basically an interview with Drax. There he is in glorious atomic reality. He's looking, he looks quite presentable there. Actually, he doesn't normally. But sorry, I shouldn't say that. I think he must have combed his hair or something. Right. Okay. Yeah. Now they're talking about his island and whatever. I never forget. Also, I mean, that's to build a region here in Sansar. Although we're leaving this shortly. So he's been all over the place, and this is really quite a big long interview with him. So do read up on it. Great guy, actually. Despite my, I'm one of these people I think I can be cheeky about, and he'd laugh.
Hopefully, right?
He won't be coming at me with an axe.
No, I don't imagine he appreciates the sloppy video comment, though.
Well, no.
I think he works pretty hard at it.
Oh yeah, it does. But I think it's deliberate. Because I was talking earlier about Linden Labs have this LabGAN program, done by Linden Labs themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They still have, interface showing and voice icons bouncing up and down. To me, it's just not right. And I know, Drax can film very well. I think what it is that he is a producer come editor and filmmaker. And some of his acclaimed projects have, he's taken great care to, plan them out, do the filming, then the editing, and cleaning the interface and making it look like proper filmmaking. When he's doing a weekly book club that just goes live on YouTube, I don't think he takes that approach. I think he really just considers it to be a podcast with video. And I think a lot of people, because you get a lot of music on YouTube now and things where there's like a still picture and then you hear sound. It's not all video there, so it seems to be a quite an acceptable place to put a podcast and just either rudimentary video or even a still picture. So I don't. I'm quite sure. That criticism is deliberate. But anyway, you're taking me down the rabbit hole again. Edition.independent.co.uk for that, or just find it on my Twitter feed as ever, of course. And finally, we go to sciencefocus.com. This is SCIENCEFOCUS.com. And again, don't be fooled. There's nothing new about the metaverse. Zuckerberg may be getting excited, but the idea is nothing new. And this is Alex Krotowski, another well-known journalist. This is a completely different article for the other one, despite the very similar titles. But again, it's symbolic of these finally the media waking up to the fact. What, you mean that metaverse thing is not new? You mean Zuckerberg didn't invent it? Oh, so tell me more, as the song goes. Anyway, as I say, sciencefocus.com. Um, good to say, and good to see it's all in the scientific media too, of course, at the same time. Right, so that is it. That is it. That is it. Um, Now, also posted at Twitter, you will find my feed from Mastodon. You'll find it straightforward at Mastodon, Mastodon.social, and then slash at symbol Metaworld. And this is where we keep all the videos of the week. Now, with time creeping away. Yes, I'm already over the 45 minutes, but it was a good try.
Okay.
Okay, All Night Florence. This is Florence in Italy. The All people have lots of chapters around the world, and the one in Florence is quite big. I can never remember Cecilia. Well, I can never remember her second name. Put another way on the left there, and the guy on the right is actually Tony Vitillo, who is the Scar Ghost. So let's hear it for the Scar Ghost, just because we can. Yeah, and enough about that. Interesting talk indeed. We're not going there. Okay, Charlie Fink and Ted Schillerwitz actually have got back on. They've got a video version again this week, and they also published further down the list here. I think I've caught that with them. There's a very published on the same day actually as the week before, so something obviously went wrong. This was the second. No. Yeah, this was the 11th. Right, so this is the very latest one. Their guest is Ryan Engel. No, they're sponsored these days, but I'll be better. Between Realities, I had a new one, I guess yesterday again. Get Hip. Let me see. Oh, yeah, this is an offbeat one. The Digi Metaverse Show. This is a really bit of a weird one. I put it up here because it is a show, and actually Marty Keltz is. I've interviewed him on our show in. I think he was even on the Metaverse Week in Review on Real World Camera back in Second Life days. He and a person he's working with, they're kind of pretty well established authors and filmmakers. So and Echo Core seems to be a thing that Dusan Writer is sort of doing. I think it's focused on storytelling and well, you know my thoughts about non-fungible what's it. Right now, the previous week, as I said, from Charlie Fink's show, Tom Emmerich and Eric Murphy, that came up and it was posted 3 days ago, which even though it's 10 days old, if you see what I mean. And oh yeah, and another one. Oh, hang on. Yeah, Derek Belch. Oh, hang on. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. So if you catch up on my feeds here, this again is only 3 days ago. You'll find a few things here that are actually catch-ups. I don't know. I think something must have happened with the This Week in XR feed on YouTube, and they've just had to catch up to date in one go. 3 days ago, this is obviously pre-recorded a while ago. This is another excellent talk with Philip Rosedale. This is at the Singularity University online, and again, it's one of these. The two guys here know each other very well. They just let Philip go off on his own tangents, basically, and there's a kind of rapport there. They're talking about singularity and the future of the metaverse in very philosophical and technical terms. Very listenable, you know. But it's not the Linden Labs gamut of here's an interview with our returning consultants, and they're talking about greater things, should we say there. Okay, and then of course this is the one that James normally listens to. So any thoughts on VR Download this week?
Is that the Thursday episode or the Monday episode?
No, this is the Monday. There was a Gamescast episode yesterday, I think it was, or the day
Yeah.
before. Yeah, this is the Monday one.
Yeah, I watched that one. I'm just not recalling the subjects of it, but I know there are a lot of big changes happening at Upload VR.
Yeah.
The episode the previous week with Kyle that was on Between Realities.
Yes, yes,
They actually
indeed.
announced that Between Realities and Upload VR are merging. They have a partnership of some
Oh,
sort,
no,
and
I
so
missed that one. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm not surprised, and it would help.
right,
You know,
right.
I mean, I often think even this show, we're all in a kind of pins in a haystack kind of thing.
Hmm.
When I go through these things, there are just too many, and I got, those two shows perfectly fit together, really. So,
Yep,
yeah,
yep.
I'll have to give the interview version and another
Yeah, and then I
push
noticed
this.
that their games cast was not live; it was pre-recorded. So that seems like possibly another change in their format that they're looking into.
Yeah,
And
I
I miss the
think.
live. I like the live show. I love the audience interaction. So for me, that's a little bit of a loss. But
Yeah, yeah, and YouTube and stuff. Yeah, that is the bonus is having a sort of chat room at YouTube when you're
right,
live.
right.
Uh, but yeah, there are advantages to pre-recording.
Oh, of
But like,
course. Right.
yeah, I mean, we don't have much of a chat room game, but there's something about being live that gives you a sort of, better keeps you on edge and fresh feeling.
Yep.
Whereas if you know it's been pre-recorded and still there's an editor around somewhere, your heart goes out of it a bit. But
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, 5 days ago, another one about the open metaverse, a worthy goal or a pipe dream. Oh, now who was it who's on this? It's somebody I know, I think. Oh yeah, Charlie Fink's on this one too.
Welcome everybody to our special session, The Open Metaverse, a worthy goal or a pipe dream. We have an illustrious panel here with us.
Right, well, it's not my place to pay it for you. It's one of the, it's not all, so it's not from their conference. It's actually, they do these extra ones like the Jennifer Tillo Florence one about throughout the year. And February 6th, so no, this is really going. This is actually going back to the week before, but it's also the very thing that James just mentioned.
Yeah. There's Kyle. All right.
It's an edition of Between Realities with Kyle Reisenbeck.
That's a fun episode, and his when he talks about how he got into VR, I found it quite interesting, quite familiar actually. I think we've all
Yeah,
had similar stories.
yeah.
Yep.
I had to refresh myself on that one. I suddenly missed. I remember listening to it, but I tend to, when there's many of these videos, I don't actually really watch them. I put them on and then I walk around listening like it's a podcast doing stuff, and it's very easy to get distracted when it's like you can have the radio on and you don't listen to every word of every note of every song.
That's like so. In my workplace, we have when we start meetings now, we have to have a few minutes of. Now we're going to ask you all to bring your full presence to the meeting. Because it is so easy to get distracted in this world.
Lie down now. Just 5 minutes. We're going to lie down on your mat,
That's right. All right.
cross your legs, and say "Om."
Set
Om.
aside all of the concerns that might be out in the world.
Wipe your head free of all concerns,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
not the company. Not the company. No, 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 not that. No, no. But all the other concerns.
Yep. Yep. It's necessary. All right.
You can imagine Lord Zuckerberg delivering that one to his employees. Wipe your mind of every evidence of me. Well, then we have a meeting.
Interesting.
One way to look at it. Okay. So that's I'll leave that there because this reading list is a default page for next week. And finally, I'm going to go back to the little video player that is in the background here, of course, which we've looked at a bit already. So, I know what I haven't done yet. Although it's no real sweat, I just need to do a quick swap over to Metaworld News. As I said, we do have a Twitter feed at Metaworld News too, which is a bit more populated. And just checking what I put up there during the course of the week. Basically, on Wednesday, we had our Hypergrid Safari, which, of course, their backup clubhouse is the same place we're going to be moving our studio to. Why is it not changing? Can I click that button? Okay. Oh, here we are. Right. Okay. The Open Community Conference from last year. Still not all of them, but a considerable number of the sessions now have been put up on Avacon's YouTube, and edited, I think, too. So the links to those are in Metaworld's channel because it's a strictly video thing, really. One on Animesh is coming. Another one about writers in the metaverse. Another one about learning to live on Mars. And interoperable metaverse. That's a panel with me on it. I can't remember calling it that, but never mind. And also Barbara Truman's Planetarium. Barbara Truman is the late Barbara Truman, I should say. It's a sort of a tribute to her. And Virtual Worlds Education Consortium across the metaverse is up there too. And System Design of Outworlds. Actually, there were a lot more this week than I realised. And that's it for that lot. Also, there's, let me see, going up a bit. There's a podcast from No Proscenium. Remember that? I could never get my word, get around that. Proscenium.com podcast, NOPROSCENIUM.com/podcast. And this was actually quite an interesting one. It was exploring VR chats, Infinite Worlds, with somebody called Fiona, who I believe does, specializes in all the different destinations you can get in VR chat and stuff, which is, it's rapidly being compared with other things. Even Rosedale was keeping comparing that actually to whatever Second Life and VR chat. He thought it shared a lot of similarities. Right now, yes, this is. Oh yeah, of course. I know what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm here. I've got these videos already loaded on screen. Okay. The only thing I will put up quickly is this one because I forgot to preload it. This is Hypergrid Safari's actual site. And this is Thursday's roundup of things during the week. Went to visit, spent about half an hour on some galleries in one place. And then one of the artists there then took us to his private region for another half hour. And then the final hour was all spent at the region called Taj Mahal, which I'm afraid, although very nice, pleasant and fairly accurate build of the Taj Mahal, but didn't really have much in it or much to talk about. So you take them and lose them. But yeah, there's Mal Burns something on. Oh, that must be before. Oh no, there. Yes, I'm on my horse. Yeah, I was the first to find a horse, and I spent the whole safari riding my horse, except when I tried to teleport and somehow the horse vanished from underneath my legs. Right, okay. So you'll find that at hgsafari.blogspot.com. hgsafari.blogspot.com. And now I really can put that one away. And yeah, and that. And I can come back to. We're going to finish with a few more videos, including ones that I actually took on that particular journey. Oh, there we are. Right, this is one of them. There's a few. There's a long one of the one I fell in love with where I got on a horse. It's quite a long clip, so I'll leave that to last. But most of it, I just took some, excuse the quality of filming, but I was basically just grabbing pictures of people. A nice way of recording all the people that were at the safari in situ, so to speak. And complete with camera slipping through the wall by the look of it. Oh, and this lady has an amazing dress on, but I hope it doesn't get indecent. Depends on it will depend on the angle. I don't remember her. It was a lovely dress actually. It's, forget her name. It sounded very African or something. Oh, the avatar name anyway. So yeah, I love it when people are almost like they're on a catwalk, except they don't know they're being filmed. Yeah, it's a public place, so I have every right to film them. But so avatars are fond of posing, even when they haven't. They would never do it in real life, if you see what I mean. There'd be no point. Yeah, I liked a lot of these paintings actually, very sort of rich and colourful. I mean, artistically, I don't know they're that much my style, but they're aesthetically very pleasing. Those who are waiting outside with his hat on, running his camera through the walls. Yeah. So yeah, some nice pictures here. Hopefully in future weeks I might have Cesar around for some of these so she can talk us through the things. Oh, the other nice thing coming up is the some of the builds here actually had sound running on them, so I caught the sound at the same time. How are we doing here? I can't see that. Oh, right, we're back at the start. Okay, so here's another one from the same session. That was a good start. Oh yeah, this is a weed shop. Actually, I mean, it was part of the tour because I guess it had some of one of the artists' art in it. Yeah, grasshopper. There we are. And oh dear, this was one where I forgot to kill my interface. See, yeah.
How
I said
sloppy.
yeah, I know, but I'm not pretending. There I am. I'm not pretending it's perfect. I mean, because it's really ad lib. If you quickly fire the record button and suddenly think, "Oh damn, I didn't hit the key for the interface." And so when you know what you're doing and plan for it, it's no problem. But and that was a short one. We didn't really need that one anyway. Right, 36 seconds of this one. Some more. This was a different gallery, same sort of style. As you can see, but I much prefer these paintings. Sort of, well, the ones on the left there particularly. It's actually a sort of collective of about 6 different artists here, and one of them is the one responsible for the build we went to for the second half hour. Right, kind of interesting stuff, and pretty big there. Right, moving on up. So there, 1 minute and 3 seconds for this next one. Right, this is kind of aerial view. I killed the interface, but it's not much to see. This is an aerial view of a whole load of the safari people hanging around here. Probably most of them, actually. I mean, some will be on the other side of that wall, and some will have gone wandering ahead of schedule. Safari's not the most regimented of excursions when it comes to keeping people together. There's always certain people who land and then they go off wandering immediately. And there's others who hang around for a host to appear and tell them a bit more about stuff. This is a sort of old shoddy town, I think it was called Build, where the galleries are inside a kind of old warehouse sort of district. And you can pretty see as we go what's happening there. Yeah, that's it for that one. Right, 2 minutes long this one. Most of these I actually put on my Twitter feed too, so you can see them there. But any of the ones that are longer than 2 minutes get refused by Twitter, so they didn't all get up there. Yeah, back in the same place again, just on the other side of the walls, so seeing things a bit differently, and of course zooming in on a few different avatars. I forget her name. I always recognise her because of that hair, but I forget her name offhand. Now, see, if I'd had my interface on, I could have told you who it was. Swings and roundabouts, then they'll go, he falls onto the floor again. There we go. Yeah, that was another bit of a hairstyle on that one. Oh, God, who's he? Huh? You will see me looking like that this time next week. I will have had a change of costume and I will be appearing just like that. On a new desk, indeed. A new world, in fact. I quite like his appearance. I could do those. Oh yeah, there was one little child there too. An adult playing being a child, I imagine. Although with open sim, you can never be quite sure. And yeah, that artwork is just all too much for some people. It collapsed on the floor, including Thursday. It's not jet lag, no.
Oh my. Okay.
It's a collapse.
It's
Right.
it's also a strategy to reduce lag.
Yeah, that is true. Unless it's a highly animated sit. But yes, it can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, can be useful. Okay, that's more or less the end of that one. Right, this one is only a couple of seconds, I think. 8. Oh, that's the crop bit. I didn't mean to. Yeah, that's a bit naughty, that one. Right, so where's the clip where I'm... Oh, God, there. Oh, right. Okay, 34 minutes. Then we moved on. And this is the bit that has some music. This is one of the artists has this build. It's called Tirananog, I believe, if I recall. Very kind of soothing. Don't know how to describe the music. I thought, oh, this is lovely and ambience, you know. It was a bit medieval and I don't know. Nice music though, definitely. A lot of red clouds floating around which seemed... I never quite understood what the red clouds were meant to be. Everything else was a bit medieval, but red clouds? Go figure. Right, 3 minutes 45. This is a longer one. There we go. See, and when I clicked on that, there's this saddle hanging around in midair. And I'll wear the saddle, and it takes a while, but then I get a horse. And I spent most of the rest of this journey clomping around on my horse until it vanished from under my legs. It got stuck in a border region, actually, and wouldn't come out. Wonderful experience. This is what, you know, in the field when you're on a horse, it's just like riding a horse, you know, sort of. This is what you're missing when you join us for safaris, folks. Always a good time. Ding, 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 ding. Lovely stuff. Did you make it to... You didn't make it to Safari this week, did you?
No, I had work to do. I had meetings, work.
Yeah.
You know,
the
rent has to be paid.
Yeah, I know. This is certainly one of the more enjoyable ones for a long while, actually.
It looks
They're
beautiful.
always fun. Yeah, they're always fun, but this just captivated me. I could have spent all day on that horse.
Yeah.
I've got one in Second Life, and I think I've got one in Open Sim, although not in any of the avatars I can currently get to. It always feels good to trot around on a horse. Yeah, he was not going to go indoors. He was kicking up a fuss. Look at this. He's trying to kick me off with his back. I had to resign myself to the fact he wasn't going to go in there. I just wanted to surprise the other avatars who were still standing in the landing spot. Mind you, there's a few other people on horses by now. Alright, okay, it looks like we're getting near the end of this one. Right, well there we go. That's it. So James, any thoughts on all the spectacular stuff we've had during the last 1 hour and 20 minutes? I mean, we're not doing too bad. 45 minutes is still...
Not too bad. No. I wish I'd made it to the safari. I would really like to go, but there are just times that I can't make it. So I look forward to reading the blog post that Thursday does. It's quite wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, been times I haven't made it to. In fact, this, sometimes, it's got to choose between a safari or watching some other video that's live or some other, clubhouse talk or something. So, you can't always make it, but, knowing it's there and stuff. And I like actually taking these tiny little clips because they make little good memories that I can maybe use in the future somewhere.
Okay. Yep.
If I don't lose them or have a hard disk crash. Right. Okay. Well, I think we can sign off on everybody, and we can also say farewell while we're at it to Sansa for the time being. So. It is farewell, Sansa. Good to have known you, and long live Sansa. If you live long enough, we may be back. Don't worry. But it's time for this program at least to get an overhaul. So we are moving our studio elsewhere. We always did like being a mobile outside broadcast unit, what I call it.
It will be nice to be back with the Firestorm viewer and the camera scripts that we have.
In both Second Life and OpenSim.
Mm-hmm.
Platforms, we have very elaborate tools for broadcasting, and we're doing quite well here and stuff because with the desktop and everything, we've got enough variety to brighten it up a bit, but we'll be able to do more with animation and stuff in the
and of course, I'm using 2 viewers here so that I can have multiple camera angles. Unfortunately, if I use a joystick to move the camera, it moves both viewers at the same time. So I lose the shot that I have set up. So I just use a mouse, very jerky, very shaky. So I'll get a little more fluid. But of course, the avatars and the textures are not at all comparable in OpenSim to what we have here in Sansar. So it's as always, there is a compromise to be made.
Well, I don't know. I look at this. I've still got a still picture from the start of that clip on screen, and. Those are meshes, I think, but that's OpenSim.
Yeah, we need that builder. We need that builder for the studio.
Yeah. I mean, it's the possibilities are there. I mean, if you propose, if you're doing a show and you're going to a beautiful build, you can take full advantage of it, and and you can do a lot of on-the-spot lighting adjustments while you're filming in Firestorm these days, because there's that new lighting menu which is real-time lighting changes.
Yeah, but the lighting model in Sansar is beautiful.
Yeah,
There's no question about that.
Yeah, it's all predefined and science-based to a certain extent. But they're more modern platforms. Yep. But we will be back here. I mean, unless Sansar disappears somewhere, I'm sure we'll have cause to be back here at some point. But
as soon as there's new inventory in the store, if I can find a new outfit, then I'll say, Mel, there's a new outfit in the store. Let's go back to Sansar.
Let's go and do a show so I can show off my new top. Yes.
Right. Oh my.
Right, well, we're actually going to round off the show now. We're going to stay online ourselves so we can actually quickly pop over to the new venue just to double check a few last minute things before next week. You won't be joining us for that, however. We'll be killing the YouTube stream. So, yeah, from both of us. We got to do that chorus, haven't we? For the last time, maybe. When it comes to XR and MR and AR and VR and blah blah. Don't you know?
We
Ah.
are.
Oh, yes.
That didn't hurt my throat too badly.
Fair enough. Okay, well, we can say the last show here got down to under half an hour anyway. But I mean, under 90 minutes is what I mean to say. And it won't be if I talk much longer. Okay, we wish you all, thank you all for being here, watching the show. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you'll be back. It will not be a case of same time, same place next week, or it will be the same time. And if you count YouTube as a place rather, then it is same time, same place, if you see what I mean.
Same bat channel, right?
Indeed. Or you can find us on the Safari region, on the Avacon grid as well. We may, well, if any of you are really dedicated and want to come sit in the audience for our first one, do. But we'll plan all that out as time. Meanwhile, stay well, everybody. Stay indoors if you can. Work from home if you can. Don't forget to wear masks. That horrible spiky thing, invisible though it is still lurking everywhere. And yeah, just keep your fingers crossed that. Yeah, just keep well, folks. I'm not even going to think about wars or anything like that. Yeah, let's just try and pretend the stupidities of the real organic world are not around. We can live in virtuality until they nuke our servers. Okay, good way to end, isn't it? We'll see you next week. Bye for now. Thanks a lot.